Hi everybody, it's Cindy Guentert-Baldo for another episode of Llamas Love Lettering. So here's, as we start up again, this is my lettering series for people to get better at lettering, specifically in their planners, but in general as well. Here's some info to start you out. My Instagram handle is Llama Letters. My website is www.llamaslovelettering.com, and my hashtag is llamaslovelettering. This is all fairly self-explanatory. So as you work on your worksheets and stuff, please post them on Instagram, post them in the Planner Gone Wild Facebook group that this all started in with the llamas. Don't ask about the llamas. There's videos in the group about the llamas. Just watch the videos. Don't ask. You'll get eaten alive. Anyway, so I was thinking that today I'm going to start a few weeks worth of brush lettering tutorials. Now, here's the thing. I am not good at brush lettering. I am not an expert at modern calligraphy. I am not, by any means. This is something I don't usually work on. It's out of my comfort zone. So I figure in this case, this is going to be like an adventure. This is an adventure of all of us sucking ass at brush lettering together until we can get good at it. That's what this is. If you actually want a real tutorial from people who know what they're doing, I'm going to link some in the comments, some of my favorite ones to watch for modern calligraphy and brush lettering. There's a huge, if you search the lettering and the brush lettering and the modern calligraphy hashtags on Instagram, you find a bunch there as well. I am not one of those people. My brush lettering, I do, they call faux-ligraphy, which I only just learned the term fairly recently, is actually my thickening the downstroke that you can find in an earlier video. That's called faux-ligraphy. That's easier for me. But on the same note, I can see how brush lettering actually goes a lot faster because you don't have to spend the time thickening. Anyway, so today, because I'm not good at it yet, the worksheet I'm posting, which I'm not showing here because I haven't done it yet, is just going to be, it's going to be a sheet sort of similar to the ones that we have, these ones, like these practice sheets with the lines, but I want to be doing one to show you kind of a good way to think about your lettering. If you have this, is where your letter is going to be. This is the middle part. Then you have up here is where like an upper part of a letter would go, and down here is where a lower part of a letter would go. And I know these have names, I just don't remember what they are. So like if you did a B, the upper part of the B would go there, and if you did a G, the lower part of the G would go there. You see what I'm saying? But this is where the basic letter would be. Does that make any sense to you? Anyway, so these, I just have a blank sheet of this kind of thing up there for you to work on practicing on. For me, I'm not even trying to like really stay perfect in a line. I'm just trying to get the hang of the brush stroke in the first place. So I'm just doing some blank cardstock. Now, pens. Okay. There's one thing we planner girls love, it's pens. So I have a whole bunch that I've been experimenting with, and there's more that I want to get my hands on as well. So let me just tell you one thing I've learned since I've started this brush lettering for dummies journey is that the nib of the pen, of the brush pen, matters based on how you do things. Some of the nibs of the pens, like, I don't know, like, I need a small one. God damn it. Like this one. It's small and it's firm. So, so you get a little bit more control over it. Whereas if you have one like this, it's big and fat. You have a little less control over it. It's a little harder control because you have more nib to be working with, right? So I have been experimenting with a whole bunch of different kinds of pens. This is not all of the pens I've been experimenting with. This is just some of them. So I'll run through them really quick to show you. And I'm probably going to do a brush pen lettering set like I've done with other sets, but I want to really narrow down the ones that to me at least seem to work out the best. Because the pen set that I did before with the bigger microns and the jelly rolls and all of that, those are all pens I personally like to use. And so I want to be a little bit more specific when I do brush pens. So anyway, so some of the pens that I have. The one that I think I like the best is this Tombow dual brush marker. There's a regular tip like this, and I have the whole set. You've seen me use them in a bunch of videos. Here's what the nib looks like, and it's very flexible, but excuse me, I have an easy time with this one. Easier, at least. I want the bigger nib and the more flexible nib. I don't want it to be super crazy flexible, but this one is a nice combination of firm and flexible for me. So the Tombow dual brush pen. And I know there's some other Tombow pens that exist out there. I haven't tried them out yet, though. Let's see, another one that I tried out. I got this set. They're Pigma Sakura calligraphy or like brush tip pens, and it's a set of 3 that I got. And they're all brush tips. There's a fine, you can see this here. There's a fine, I guess not. There's a fine brush tip, a medium brush tip, and a bold brush tip. I don't like these as much, and it's not because the tips aren't great. It seriously felt like they ran out of ink really fast. So like this is the bold, and this is probably one of the most flexible ones I've used, and I find it kind of hard to control for me. That's the bold. And then the medium is this one. This one is a little easier to control, and I think I like this one the best, the medium one, from that set. And then the small was the one that I noticed drying out really quickly. And see, I haven't used it in a while, but I struggle with the ones like this that don't have as much flexibility with the smaller tip. Okay, what else? My favorite pens for regular lettering are the Faber-Castell art pens, and this is a brush tip one. The brush tip is a lot smaller than the Tombow, and the ink is just as black and saturated, and I like this one too. This one I was having a lot of fun with along with the Tombow for smaller lettering rather than ginormous honkin' lettering like the Tombow is big and fat. And then there's this Prismacolor Premier pen that has a pretty fine brush tip, but this one's a lot more flexible than the Pitt color one, the Pitt one. The Pitt one has less give than the Prismacolor, and I like the Prismacolor okay, but yeah, it's a little more flexible than, ironically, more flexible than maybe the Tombow. Then I have these random ones that I picked up from Daiso. They're just some Japanese lettering. I don't even know what they are. But there's this little guy, which I really like. I don't know what it's called, though. And then there's this big fat one that's super fat and flexible. So anyway, I have a whole bunch. So my recommendation to you would be to pick up a couple different kinds, or maybe try one. Pick one maybe that's middle of the road. I would say that maybe this Pitt pen would be a very good middle of the road one, or buying this Pigma 3-pack because it has 3 different tips in it. Though, like I said, I did have trouble with these. They seem to be working fine now. They must have just started to run low when I was like constantly lettering with them, but then they reset after a little while. So you can start experimenting to figure out what kind of tip works for you. And we're going to keep addressing this, but for right now, I think I'm going to practice with my Pitt pen. Maybe I've done my Tombow, but it's big and I don't want to hit the camera. Okay, so then now for practicing, this is what I've been doing. I have a sketchbook that's like full of, let me look here. It's just a practicing letters, trying to get better. Like this has been, I've been writing some like quotes and things. Here we go. Practice sucks ass. That's those are all things I've been practicing in my sketchbook. Like whenever I have some extra time, I've just been sitting down with it. So, okay. So the general gist of the brush stroke lettering is that you apply more pressure on the downstroke and less on the upstroke. Like it's kind of like thickening the downstroke. You more going down, less going up. It sounds pretty sexy, doesn't it? So for the letter A, you would just go down and then let up a little and then go back down and then let up a little. And that would be like a way to do an A. So the recommendation that I would make, that I've seen in a lot of these modern calligraphy and brushstroke tutorials, is to just practice the letters, practice the strokes, like this kind of loopy stroke for an L. See, I'm still like wobbly at it, but like just to get the hang of the motion of it and to get practiced at letting up and then going down and then letting up and then going down. So what I've been doing a lot of, because I get lazy and I don't really want to just practice strokes over and over again, I want to practice letters so I can start trying letters out, is I would just go through the alphabet. So I would be like heavy, light, heavy, heavy, light, heavy, you know, and then go. And then I would eventually get bored with a letter and I would attempt a new letter. So, whoops, all sorts of shit everywhere. Okay. I didn't clean my desk today. It's pretty fucked up. Okay. So for B, light and then heavy. And I'm sure that there are easier ways to do this, but I lost patience with myself and just kept attempting it. So this is like what I would do, is I would sit in front of the TV or whatever and practice making letters. Now, I'm not doing anything super fancy. I'm just doing cursive lettering, basically how it feels to me. I have noticed I try and do a little less connecting of things because it doesn't get so muddy looking. Like instead of connecting these two parts of the A, I just sort of leave them open because it makes it look like cleaner, I guess. But then for D's, and then go up and then down, or you could go down and then up like that, I guess, whatever works for you. I think I like that better. Maybe this, I don't know. I'm still experimenting. So this is not, again, this is not me trying to teach you how to be the most epic brush letterer ever. I'm just trying to show you that I also struggle with this. I guess you could flourish that, I guess, if you wanted to. But yeah, just keep practicing your letters. God damn it. Practicing your letters. G. Figuring out what style like works best for you. And getting comfortable with the nib of the pen that you're using. You know? Because they behave differently depending on what kind of pen you're using, the nib will behave differently. I'm already getting tired of this one. See, once I feel like I've gotten the hang of it, I want to move. So we'll move and you'll start seeing how much fatter the Tombow marker works. That was the Pitt pen. This is the Tombow. You just keep practicing your going up and then putting pressure on, and that's part of it. It's just getting used to kind of the rhythm of it, I guess. Again, this is just what I'm learning as I keep practicing. I feel like I have to keep adding that disclaimer so that people who actually know how to do modern calligraphy aren't going to watch my video and be like, what the hell does this chick think she's doing? Like, she has no idea what she's doing. What business does she have? You know? H-I-J-K. Okay, sweet. I can remember things. I fucking hate K's. No offense to all you K people out there, like Karen Miller, and you guys all can. I'm sorry that you have K's in your name. I fail at K's. H-I-J-K-L. See, I can't even like. So there's a way of doing an L. There's a way of doing an L. Oh, L's not that bad. Anyway, but like. I mean, I'm like having to really take my own advice about A, practicing, and B, slowing down. And I'm really bad at practicing what I preach when it comes to this stuff. You know? Like, you need to slow down and get used to the feel of the pen. If you notice, the deeper I go, the more I'm like speeding up because I'm getting impatient with myself. This is what happens a lot, where I start to get towards the end of the alphabet and then want to just stop doing the alphabet and start writing words. But part of me is like, well, who uses Q anyway? Anyway, so there's different ways I've seen S's done. I've seen them done like this. I've seen them done like this. But yeah, so you just have to keep like getting used to the stroke and slowing down, which I'm obviously, you can start to see the quality of my lettering that I'm not taking it slow anymore. V's seem awkward to me. U, V, W. See, and now I'm just like, fuck it. So anyway, so you just keep practicing. I'm so over it. Okay, why is he? Okay, whatever. I want to write some words. Okay. You keep practicing your strokes and your letters. Now, one of the things, I'm going to use a different pen though. Again. One of the things that I see in some of the tutorials is to pencil in your letters and then go over them with pen. And I can totally recommend that to you. I am too impatient for that when I'm practicing. So I'm going to come up with something cool to write. So what could be cooler than my name? You see, I'm already like struggling with it. This fucking pen is, now I'm unhappy with the pit. God damn it. I can't find peace with my brush lettering pen. So here's a smaller one. Let's try something a little different. Let's do llamas. Llamas. Light, heavy. Light, heavy. I'm trying to like practice like sort of staggering my letters because I know that looks cool, but right now it's just all I can do to like stay on top of the heavy stroke and the light stroke. So here we'll do something that I've been saying a lot lately. You have to like try and remember to do it, and I'm having so much trouble. So I can see how this would be easier once you get the hang of it, but for right now it's fucking hard, dude. So I hope I am not the only one who is planning on practicing this. Practice sucks. Yeah, I'm failing at that. And the ink on this pen's acting kind of janky too. Here, let's do one that's going to really be... So, if you have small children watching this one, I'm frustrated right now, so be prepared, small children. Bad words are approaching. That's how I'm feeling right now about brush lettering. Anyway, thanks for watching. This has been a bit of a struggle, but I did promise I would do this, and I'm gonna keep doing this. We're gonna do this together, people. So go find yourself a brush pen. Practice with it. Get used to the nib. Try. Post it on Instagram, or don't if you really don't want to. But yeah, let's do this together, people. Let's fail and try and not fail. Like, we've got to get better. I know it's practice. It's all it is. I say it all the time about lettering. It's practice, practice, practice. I need to listen to myself this time. So if all of you can manage to listen to me doing this shit, I suppose I can listen to myself too. Anyway, I'll catch you next time at Llamas Love Lettering. Peace out, Girl Scouts.